Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
So here we are at day number 16 of the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. So let's recap yesterday and then we'll get into today. Yesterday, we heard a powerful testimony from Eddie Garcia, who is a former security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. Eddie Garcia, who testified under immunity, testified about the now infamous 2016 incident involving Cassie Ventura. According to Garcia, Diddy offered him $100,000 in exchange for the surveillance footage of the altercation. He also said Diddy's team wanted a copy of his ID, which raised eyebrows in the court. Prosecution stated that Diddy's former right-hand woman, KK, also known as Christina Coram, had 2 cell phones on her that were confiscated at the Opa-locka airport, and in those cell phones were Eddie's name and phone number as well as another worker at the hotel. And get this, Christina still had the pictures of the IDs that Diddy requested as security to make sure that they were telling the truth. Damn it, Christina. Now I'm mad.
Damn it, Gina. Now I'm mad.
Garcia being able to speak under immunity meant that the prosecution likely believed his testimony is important enough to protect him legally. That signals to the jury that his story plays a serious role in a broader case. Now, the prosecution is trying to show that Diddy operated a criminal enterprise involving not just abuse, but also cover-up, hush payments, and silencing witnesses. Garcia's testimony provides real-world proof that someone in Diddy's camp tried to eliminate evidence of violent behavior. Now it's up to the jury to determine if the prosecution's strategy did indeed work. We also heard from Derek Ferguson yesterday, who was the former CFO of Bad Boy Entertainment. Ferguson said he never witnessed Diddy or anyone around him commit any crimes, use violence, coercion, or essay to boost the image or reputation of Diddy or Bad Boy Entertainment. When asked if he'd ever seen prostitution used in the business, the answer was simply no. He admitted that Diddy had strong work ethic and clear goals, though when asked if he thought highly of Mr. Combs, he paused and replied, "I don't know how to respond to that." But things took a turn when prosecution showed a 2011 bank statement from Bad Boy Entertainment showing a $20,000 wire transferred to Cassie Ventura and a matching $20,000 transfer returned from her father weeks later. This lines up with a similar testimony that Diddy allegedly threatened to release an S-tape if Cassie's family didn't pay money back to him. Her mom said that she even took out a home equity loan to do it. So while Ferguson may have distanced himself from wrongdoing, the financial trail could tell a different story. Now today, another anonymous victim known as Jane is expected to take the stand, and prosecutors have previewed that her testimony will include claims of abuse and coercive control, similar to previous witnesses. She is likely to testify under partial anonymity or special courtroom arrangements due to the sensitivity of her allegations. This case has more twists and turns than a roller coaster ride at Six Flags, but we are going to get into it and so much more. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this case and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So there was a huge move last night made by prosecutors in the Diddy trial. The government just asked the judge to bring back expert witness Dr. Don Hughes to fight back against the defense's strategy. Now why is this? Because during cross-examination, Diddy's lawyers tried to make Mia, a former assistant, look like she was lying, pointing out that she sent Diddy loving messages and stayed around him even after claiming abuse. But here's the twist. Prosecutors say that's exactly how abuse works. Victims can emotionally feel trapped, confused, or even loyal to their abusers. That doesn't mean that they're lying. So now they want Dr. Hughes, an expert in trauma and abuse, to explain this to the jury. What is coercive control? How does abuse mix fear with affection? And why do some victims still speak positively about their abusers? Now, this all comes after a new appeals court decision in another case confirmed Dr. Hughes' expertise is legit for trials like this. In short, the government is fighting back hard to protect Mia's credibility and show the jury that abuse doesn't always look like people expect it to. Okay, so starting day number 16, before the jury comes in, the judge says, what about the witnesses' conflicts with other romantic partners? Prosecution says the last one with a colleague, not a girlfriend. Shapiro says this is impeachment material. Judge says these are assaults under Rule 608B. Is that fair? Shapiro says it's not 608B. We're happy to provide the proper ex parte. It's difficult to explain the facts. Judge says ex parte proper is irregular. Alexandra Shapiro from Diddy's side says we want to put in album art for Miss Ventura's Love or Loser video. It shows she's engaged in business independent of Mr. Combs. You're going to ask, why do you need these photos? Judge says, yes, I was going to ask that. Shapiro says prosecution have done it too. Judge responds, I don't see the probative value of these defense exhibits. The defense is free to question the witness about them. What about drugs? Shapiro says it shows the witness was taking ketamine with Cassie and Mr. Combs didn't like it. Prosecution says it's inadmissible. Judge says Mr. Combs says it's whack. It goes to state of mind. It is admissible. Anything more? The Dr. Hughes letter? Judge says defense has till Monday to respond. Is Dr. Hughes' second testimony about coercive control, given that the Second Circuit said in the U.S. versus Larry Ray? Prosecution says yes under that recent decision. So they're speaking about another case where a recent appeals court decision upheld using Dr. Hughes' testimony in a different trafficking and RICO case. Prosecution says we're working on a different instruction before the testimony of Jane on the pseudonym issue. Judge says, just a heads up, if you agree, and I will read it, does witness Bryanna Bongolan need a Fifth Amendment immunity order? Yes.
I plead the fifth.
They really got Diddy going down on this sinking ship alone. Everybody is getting an immunity deal. Judge says, I'll ask our courtroom deputy to check on our jury. The jury is entering. Prosecution says, first we wish to enter some exhibits into evidence before the jury. A search of Two Star Island by HSI found this cell phone. Now, paragraph 14, the exhibits are excerpts of the data. Prosecution says the data shows Twitter exhibits and text to D-Rock, who says, we in the security room. The owner of the phone says, what does Shorty say? D-Rock says, Cass is calling studios looking for you. The owner says, what did she say on the other thing? Act like I'm not effing with her. D-Rock says, okay. Owner says, how is her eye? D-Rock said, I told everyone a fight broke out in the club. She ain't tripping. She ain't tell nobody. I'm about to call you. Judge says, thank you. The government may call its next witness. The government calls Frank Piazza. Witness in suit is sworn in. Prosecution says, where do you work? Legal audio and video. Have you testified before? Mostly criminal matters. I've also done some civil and depositions. Have you been qualified as an expert? 50 times. We moved to qualify Mr. Piazza as an expert. No objection, says defense. He's an expert, says the judge. How many times have you worked for Southern District of New York? 50 or 100 times. Does that impact your testimony? No, I do 75% defense work. Are you being paid? What is your hourly rate? $295. Yes. You analyze cell phone, video, and surveillance videos, right? Yes. Let me show you. Video of toweled Combs kicking Cassie on the ground is shown. What is a frame rate? Frame per second. It can cause a video to have more info per second. This cell phone video of a video, was shot on an iPhone 6, 30 frames a second. It's not edited or tampered with, I found. Did you reach a conclusion? They are accurate. In the surveillance videos, there were issues. Piazza says the clock was sent to play 30 frames a second, but this was 22 frames, so it played faster. We had to account for that. How? We counted the frames and used software to correct the timing. Were the surveillance videos altered? No. Piazza says here the video stream was corrupted. This caused a distortion. Prosecution says the whole file or just these small pieces. Piazza says the corruption exists in the video stream. There is a structure called a GOP, a group of pictures. We have the predictive frames. Piazza continues, you don't know this, but a static camera does not re-record a wall that doesn't move each second. It is repeated. Only what moves is recorded. Thank you. Prosecution says play 55 seconds. Video shown, Combs throwing Cassie to the ground and kicks her. Prosecution says, did you see pixelation? Yes. Does it represent manipulation? No, you can choose motion activity. The camera only turns on when there is motion, but it causes timestamp issues. Go back frame by frame. I want to point something out. Piazza continues, this seems to be a collision of two issues. Look at the male sitting down. There appears to be a ghost of a person. The motion activity begins to sense that we have motion. Now there is a full figure in the frame. That file is corrupted. Did you make a compilation? Yes, your office requested it. They are edited to track the movement of individuals inside the event. Does it have different camera angles in it? Yes. How did you show the changes? A black screen. Is this the compilation? Yes. Play the first 30 seconds. What's happening? The male is running down the hallway. He throws her down. Now dragged her on the screen. What did the man just do? Dragging the woman, holding a bag. Okay, and what is that he's holding? It appears to be a cell phone, glowing. Let's focus on what's happening in the mirror. Play it. What happened? The male picked up a small object, what appears to be a vase, and threw it across the room at the woman. Continues playing. Who is emerging now? The female with the duffel, her luggage. Now who? The security person. Now the man, Combs, walks away, holding what? What appears to be a cell phone. He puts it to his ear. Mr. Piazza, you find these accurate? Yes, and this was all the footage I had. Let's turn to the SEX videos, PX 201 to 210. Let me clarify, these are under seal. They were recovered from the Frank Black user on a device provided to the US by Ms. Ventura. These are enhanced versions of original videos created in 2012 and 2014. Mr. Piazza, what were you asked to do with these explicit videos? Enhance the audio component. We admitted these videos into evidence and no further questions. Judge says, all right, time for break. And we all break. Okay, so they're back from a short break and Teeny Garagos gives her cross-examination. What is your understanding of the source of those surveillance videos? The native system. How did they come to your possession? They were exported and transcoded. Who gave the surveillance videos to you? The U.S. Attorney's Office. Who gave it to them? I don't know. Did you say it was from a cheap system? I don't think I said that. Let me show you your notes, 3500. So this is only for the witness. Yes, says the judge. Teeny Garagos says, so you called it cheap? I don't know when this document was created, but you thought the system was cheap. In a way, let me play you 10-C-103. Ms. Garagos says, so Mr. Piazza, there are 2 minutes that are not shown? He responds, this is my corrected version, but there are a few issues that we cannot correct. The system is buffering some of that time, and some portions were motion activated. I want to note this, while Mr. Piazza is answering questions, the video is being played over and over again in front of the jury. It's not the first time they've seen the video. However, this is the first time they're watching it frame by frame, and this is replaying the brutal assault against Cassie Ventura. Garagos says, let's again play the male coming into the elevator bank at 11:02, and then the timestamps are jumping around. On the video, Cassie is being kicked on the ground. Piazza says it's constantly playing catch up. Garagos says play ahead, we're at 11:28. Okay, and the female picks up the house phone. There's some sort of cut. Can you explain? Can you back up and go frame by frame? Sure, but is the male separated from her? Yes, the bag drop triggered it. A 10-second difference, says Garagos. Garagos says, let's watch it again. Did we just jump around 10 seconds on the timestamp? Yes, says Piazza. Piazza says there is a 5-second offset between the two cameras. That's what you just showed. Garagos says, okay. The female picks up the phone and the male walks away. Start again, please. Is this the walking away? Yes. Play more, says Garagos. Garagos said, did you see the translucent or ghost-like figure in the cell phone video as in the surveillance video? Piazza says the cell phone video was not high quality enough to capture it. Garagos says, but it's not there. It's not. Teeny Garagos says, Mr. Piazza, thank you so much for coming. We have no further questions for you. Judge says, Miss Miser. Miss Miser says, so they are 5 minutes off? My notes told me they were 5 minutes, 55 seconds difference. Add another offset of 5 seconds. Do these videos reliably and accurately depict what happened? Yes. You may go. Before the next witness, can we have a sidebar, says the judge? Okay, so they're back. The government calls Bryanna Bongolan. What else are you called? Bryana. Where do you work in? Fashion design. What did Mr. Combs do to you? held me over a 17-story balcony. Any side effects? Yes, night terrors. I wake up in my sleep. Who is this? A photo is shown. It's Cassie Ventura. Cassie's my friend. I met her in 2013 at Young and Reckless, the streetwear company, then at Diamond Design. How would you describe Cassie's relationship with Mr. Combs? Volatile. I didn't want to meet him right away. I had seen a black guy. She begged me to meet him. I wasn't really fond of what I was seeing, so I wasn't wanting to meet him. Did you do design work for Mr. Combs? A little. Where did Mr. Combs live? I think in like Beverly Hills. Miss Westmoreland says, objection, speculation. Ask another question, says the judge. Do you know the name of the street? Mapleton, 200 South Mapleton. What did you do with Cassie? DRUGS, and we'd go shopping. We'd hang out with Deontay and others. Is this the photo of you and Cassie shopping? Yes, in April 2016, Puff texted Cassie, asked where she was. Then he sent a list to Cassie of all the places that we had been. Had you or Cassie told Mr. Combs where you were? No. How did it make you feel? Objection, says Miss Westmoreland. Overruled. Like, oh my God, he knows where we've been. Where would you sleep at Cassie's? The couch or the balcony? Did Mr. Combs come over? Yes, he banged on the door and came in. Do you know how? I don't know. He was upset. He threw a knife in her direction and she threw it back. He left swiftly. Were you doing DRUGS? I don't remember. Did you call the police? No. Why not? I was scared. Did you see injuries on Cassie? She showed me on FaceTime before makeup for the perfect match. What did she say? She was quiet. We were at a party at the Blind Dragon, a karaoke bar in West Hollywood. Then we went to Cassie's house to help her pack. Deontay was there. Puff came. Are you under subpoena? Yes, I won't get in trouble if I'm truthful. Did Mr. Combs provide you DRUGS? Yes, one called G. I'm not an avid user. Ketamine, marijuana, cocaine. How often did you get DRUGS from Cassie? Often. Those oxy pills, did she pay you? Yes. Did you get DRUGS from Mr. Combs? Yes, once. Cocaine. Did you sell DRUGS to others? Yes, sometimes. Did you try with Cassie to stop DRUGS? Yes, we try to cook, but it's hard to get sober when there's always a lot of DRUGS around. Has Mr. Combs ever threatened you? Yes. Let me show you a photo from April 2016. Who's in it? This photographer who goes by the name Bad Boy with an eye. We thought it was cool that was his name. We thought we'd make some art. Puff came up close to my face and said, I am the devil. I would unalive you. Then she started sobbing. Were you taking DRUGS that day? Probably. Cocaine. Did you continue to see Mr. Combs after that? Yes. Why? I don't know. Did you tell the government about this threat in your first meeting? No. Why? Westmoreland says objection. Sustained. We could break here. Now they go to break. They're back. Judge says anything before we bring the jury in. Prosecution says no disputes, and she begins to laugh. But we now think Jane will not get on the stand today. Given how this is going, we would like to get Enrico Santos on today. Some exhibits for Jane are having technical issues. Judge says okay. The jury comes out, then is told to return to the jury room. Judge says, jurors, we have some technical issues, have to go under the table. I'm going to ask you to retire to the jury room. Just for your comfort, we'll bring you back in a few moments. The jury comes back in. Prosecutor Smizer says, now what happened on the balcony? I was there, says Bongolan. Who else was there? Cassie and my ex-girlfriend at the time. What were you doing? Sleeping on the couch with my ex? Doing DRUGS? I don't recall. What did you do when Mr. Combs arrived? I took my ex-girlfriend to the bathroom. I went, shh. Why? I don't want to expose her to what I saw. Then what? Went to the balcony and either lit a blunt or was about to. Mr. Combs came behind me on the balcony. He lifted me up and put me on the railing. Can you show us how he held you? To myself? Show us. How much did you weigh? I can't say because of the DRUGS, but about 115 pounds. What did Mr. Combs scream at you? He yelled, you know what the F you did? I said back, I don't know what the F I did. How long did he hold you there? How long did it take to say that multiple times? You know what the F you did. What next? He threw me onto the balcony furniture. Were you injured? I didn't know at first. What did Cassie say? Along the lines of, did you just hang her over the balcony? Then I heard Her girlfriend is in the house. He left and I left. I wanted to take a shower. I felt disgusted. I saw a huge bruise on my leg with like a piercing in the middle and back and neck pain. Is this photo a fair and accurate representation of your leg? Yes. I called one of my managers and they said if you're scared of anything else, just go to the chiropractor. Did you tell the chiropractor who done it to you? No, they asked, but I just paid and took the neck brace. Now, while photos of Bryanna Bongolan's injuries were being shown to the court, Sean Combs leaned over to his attorney, Tini Garagos, and peered into a monitor displaying the image. Garagos' hands were steepled in front of her face as Combs spoke to her. Combs, who has been leaning back and forth in his chair and listening intently to Bongolan's testimony, briefly motioned into the monitor again when another image came up of Bongolan's bandaged back. He spoke to his lawyer as Bongolan described her efforts to get sober and testified that certain details of the balcony incident in Cassie Ventura's lawsuit against Combs was incorrect. Is the neck brace in this photo of you? Yes. Did you ever talk with Mr. Combs about this? I said, I don't want any problems with you. He didn't say anything. When did you last see them? January 2nd, 2018. How did you remember that? I tattooed the date on myself. Why? It's the day I decided to get sober. It was a New Year's thing in Miami at the one hotel. Puff, Cassie, and I 8 hours of ketamine together. Are you aware Cassie included the balcony incident in her complaint? Yes, I told her she had the facts wrong and it wasn't a hotel. And Tiffany, have you talked with Cassie about your testimony or hers? No, I have nightmares. I scream. When was the last time you had nightmares? The other day. Have you hired a lawyer about the balcony incident? Yes, my first lawyer hired in January 2024. Did you mention everything in your first meeting with us? No. Did your first lawyer send demand letters to Mr. Combs? Multiple, and the demand was high. He picked it. Did you approve the letters? No, they were incorrect. I let him go. Who? Tyrone Blackburn. Bryana filed a $10 million lawsuit and she said the reason why is because I wanted to seek justice for what happened to me on the balcony. The suit was filed late last year in Los Angeles State Supreme Court. Did people reach out to you? Yes. Tiffany, Cassie, the producer Rob Holloway. Was he friends with Mr. Combs? Yes. Westmoreland says, may we have a sidebar? Judge says, you may. Okay, so now they're back. Who did Mr. Holliday say he was calling for? Puff. What offer was he being authorized to offer? Westmoreland says, objection. Sustained. How did you feel during the call? I declined the offer. Westmoreland says not responsive. Sustained. Move on unless you're prepared to ask some of the foundational questions we discussed at sidebar. Did you talk with him again? No. After yet another sidebar, the judge says the objections are sustained. Move on. Smizer said, your lawsuit, did you write it? No. How much is being requested? $10 million. Nothing further. Judge says cross. Westmoreland says yes. Please. Now, although Nicole Westmoreland is a late addition to Diddy's sprawling team, which now has about 10 attorneys, she cross-examined just one witness before now, Don Richard, previously of the group Danity Kane, and we all know how that went down. Miss Westmoreland continues, I need to ask you some questions. You have immunity as long as what you say today is true, right? Yes. Who decides if you're lying? The prosecutors? Miss Bongolan, you were a graphic designer. Yes. You and Cassie would work on designs including at her house, true? Yes. All right, you were focused on a t-shirt design. There were a lot of things, yes. She asked you to come over? Yes. You suggested Cassie do a photo shoot in the pool in just a t-shirt? That wasn't the first idea, but yes. You began to feel comfortable with her. Sounds about like it. You spent the night? Yes. You went to parties with Cassie? Not going to parties, but we partied. Okay, you did a lot of drugs with Cassie, right? Yes. How did marijuana make you feel? Sometimes hungry. How does ecstasy make you feel? Uplighted. How about G? Like the negative parts of alcohol. And perk? I threw up. Cocoa puff? Blunt with weed and cocaina?
Turn. Dust. PCP. Primos. B-Dog.
You would agree with me that you and Cassie had a serious DRUG problem? Yes. You sold DRUGs to Cassie a lot? Yes. You got her hundreds of pills? Yes, they were hers. Okay, let's hear the names of the DRUG dealers. I don't know if I can. Let's refresh. In this job, your clothing line did not work out due to the skater mentality at Diamond Supply Company. I believe they saw the vision, but whatever. You believed you were one of Cassie's best friends? Yes, but you didn't meet Mr. Combs for a year. You met in 2016, first time at a dinner at this house? Yes. He was standoffish with you? Yes. Did you talk with Deontay Nash after his testimony? Yes, but not about his testimony, right? We know what's going on, says Ms. Bongolan. You don't need to talk because you know? Objection. Sustained. You hired Tyrone Blackburn to sue Mr. Combs. It was to seek justice. Your definition of seeking justice is to sue Mr. Combs. Can you rephrase that, Ms. Bongolan says? Suing for money. Yes.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
November 2023, you were aware Cassie filed a lawsuit. You were working together then, right? Yes. May we have a sidebar? You may. Okay, so they're back. Westmoreland says Cassie included the balcony incident in her lawsuit. True. Cassie said this happened at a hotel. True. She didn't say it like that. You said your apartment, it has a balcony. I didn't say it like that. Cassie told you she never saw you over a balcony? No, ma'am, I don't remember that. Westmoreland laughs. All right, right here. Read this page, then look up. You had these conversations? I don't know. About this alleged balcony incident, you and Miss Ventura talked about the date, the place, who was there. True. In 2015 and 2016, you didn't see any signs of violence. True. I don't know the exact year. The birthday party. What DRUGS were you doing? I don't remember. The alleged knife throwing incident. He just walked in and threw a knife? I'm not sure. Are you telling the truth? Objection. It's being said that Nicole Westmoreland's voice is thundering through the microphone as she cross-examined Bryanna Bongolan. A very different tactic from the other defense attorneys who were generally deferential when questioning their clients' alleged victims. Westmoreland immediately characterized Bongolan's testimony about Combs' attack on her as suspect, as she spent nearly 15 minutes asking the witness to detail DRUGS she took with Cassie Ventura. Judge says sustained. Westmoreland says, didn't you tell the government they would get in knife fights, plural? I don't remember. Let me show you. I was suggesting where the knife came from because it makes no sense. You were saying you didn't know how he got in to throw the knife, but once he left, you were no longer worried. I don't remember how I left. You say at a photo shoot, Mr. Combs said, I will unalive you. Yes, but at first you told the government it was at a party, correct? I don't know. Your first demand letter said Mr. Combs said, I will unalive you while he hung you over the balcony. He did both, just not at the same time. Prosecution says sidebar. And after a long sidebar, Westmoreland says you met the government January 18th, 2024. Didn't mention that I could unalive you, but put it in your subsequent demand letter. Yes, in a demand letter. I don't know when. Okay, read this. The whole thing? No, this paragraph. As much as you want, says the judge. Thanks. Okay. Westmoreland says you didn't tell the government about the I would unalive you, but Tyrone was there? Yes, I let him go. DRUGS were expensive, right? They are expensive? Now, says Miss Westmoreland. I don't know. Did you run out of money for DRUGS? I don't remember that. You and Cassie had a DRUGS partnership. Yes. Cassie would pay for the DRUGS. You go buy them? Yes. Did you meet the government on May 25th, 2025 and June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th? Yeah, that's not long ago. That's today, said Miss Westmoreland. Oh, I'm not that good with dates. And the balcony incident, you didn't tell the government there was a party in the apartment? I don't remember that. You told the government your girlfriend was in the bathroom, not that you took her in there. That's my ex. Your complaint says you were smoking a cigarette on the balcony, not weed. I don't remember. Different things? Yes. You told the government you recalled he was charging at you. I don't remember. Didn't you first say Mr. Combs essayed you on the balcony? I showed them where his hands were. You said he groped your breasts, or your lawyer said it. My lawyer said that. At this point, Westmoreland is looking at her like,
Drugs and alcohol have ruined my life.
Didn't you tell the prosecution 2 days ago that you couldn't remember what happened out on the balcony? I don't remember. Do you remember what drugs you were on? No. Didn't you tell the government you took Molly, G, and cocaine? That's a lot of drugs. Didn't you take them all? No, not all on the same night.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Judge says, Miss Westmoreland, how much more do you have? Westmoreland said, how much can I get? Then she bust out laughing. I'd like to finish today. I ask you how long? Quite a bit more. Jurors, you may go until 11 a.m. tomorrow, says the judge. Baby, that was painful. Oh my goodness. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything now going on in the world of Diddy and the Diddy trial? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.